Hi everyone. I have another fragrance review for you tonight. It's another one that I haven't heard much about on YouTube. I have heard one review of it, maybe two. The one review I definitely remember was by Sebastian at Man Loves Cologne. And his review actually made me want to pick this up when I saw it in the store. It is actually something, as I'll explain in the body of the review, that is compared to Creed's Royal Oud quite a bit. And I'll show you what it is. It's Lomani's Intense Black. And the packaging, there you go, simple black box, money on the back, and I'll show you in case you haven't seen the bottle. The bottle is looks like this. The cap, all that good stuff. The cap is a little cheap, and it's really hard to take off the first few times you use it, but once you take it off a few dozen times, it gets better. So, in the spirit of drawing more attention to fragrances that I think deserve more attention, I'll categorize this under something that deserves more talk in the community. So I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about it. According to Fragrantica, at least, the top notes of this fragrance include Calabrian lemon and Italian bergamot. And in the middle you have Atlas cedarwood, Persian galbanum, not to be confused with regular old galbanum, Persian galbanum, nutmeg, and herbal notes, unspecified. And in the base there is possibly Mysore sandalwood, sandalwood of some kind, Indian sandalwood, oud, white musk, and incense. It was launched in 2014, so it's very new. And like I said, it's often compared to Creed's Royal Oud, called a Royal Oud impersonator. And you can see more reviews of another Lomani fragrance, well, at least one, called AB Silver, which is often cited as an Aventus clone. So I've never smelled anything by Creed, so I wouldn't know, but apparently the folks over at Lomani love copying the scents that Creed makes. Like I said, I've never smelled a Royal Oud. I've never smelled anything by Creed, for that matter, so I can't really do a wrist by wrist or anything. I can only tell you what I get as this settles down and ages a bit and develops on my skin. Despite it having the Calabrian lemon and the Italian bergamot, I think most men's fragrances have, at least a little bit of citrus up top, right? But in here, it's gone really, really fast. Maybe 30 seconds, and those notes are gone, and you get to the center, I guess the heart of the fragrance, which is just this big, sort of gigantic rush of Atlas cedarwood. This is really, if anything else, it is a cedarwood-based fragrance. Sort of like opening, an old relative's cedar chest of drawers, or an old cedar chest, and sort of, has been in the basement for decades and has old pictures and stuff, and like an old wedding dress. It's like that kind of, sweet, dark cedar. It's really, really nice. I love it. If you've had the opportunity to have a more promiscuous nose than I have, and you've smelled hundreds of fragrances, then you'll probably have smelled more than a couple of cedar dominant ones. So I'm not really sure how unique this is, but only maybe having smelled, I don't know, probably less than 100 different scents since I've started collecting just a few months ago. To me, this smells not quite like anything else I've smelled before. Again, I don't have a really good history with having smelled many niche scents at all. Almost all of what I've smelled is designer, even though I hope planning on changing that in the future. Actually subscribed to a scent trunk, and I'm getting my first order in 5 days. Well, shipped to me in 5 days. I don't know when it'll show up, but it'll be shipped to me on April 10th, and I plan to review those samples on this channel. So that'll be a good way to sort of introduce me to the niche world of scents. So, oud, by the way, I think I mentioned that oud was listed as one of the base fragrances in Intense Black. And I'm kind of familiar with what oud smells like. But I don't get agar wood in this at all, even after it's dried down for a couple of hours. And especially in concert with the musk and the incense that is in this fragrance, you would think that oud would have this sort of, would contribute to something animalic and dirty and, like we like to say, skanky quality that oud can have. But that's not, this never goes there. It's quite well behaved. In fact, it's always kind of clean and crisp and a little bit sparkly for a woody based fragrance. There is, like I said, too much crisp and bright, but not grassy or herbal to be associated with an oud, even though Fragrantica lists it as the third most dominant accord. The cedar is sharp and masculine, and considering the price point, really quite a bit more refined than I was anticipating. I bought this on sale at a brick and mortar scent shop, not online, for $15. It was on sale. I think it was at Perfumes for You or Perfume Mania, something like that. Much later on in the dry down, by the way, you get some soft, sweet sandalwood that's also in the base. So again, it's another wood, but it sort of transforms from cedar to sandalwood. And I think to round off a fragrance like this, it's one of the best ways you could have done it, have a sandalwood base. So as far as scent goes, it's beautiful. 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, wonderful. 9 out of 10. The performance, however, is subpar, to be kind. It lasts, on me, 3 to 4 hours, maybe an hour's worth of projection at most. I've heard that Royal Oud lasts longer. Sebastian, again, over at Man Loves Cologne, Sebastian says that Royal Oud has very good projection and sillage, so I'll have to take his word for it. But even with the really reduced performance and reduced projection, this costs 1/10, 1/20th of what you're going to pay retail for a bottle of Creed. Creed goes for what? You're going to pay retail $250, $300 a bottle. This is $15. All right, and according to Sebastian, who has smelled both and actually did a wrist by wrist test, he said that they smell pretty much alike, but he wasn't able to comment on the performance of this because he really hadn't had a chance to test it out too much. Well, I have. I've had this since before Christmas of last year, 2014. Worn it on several occasions, and when I put it on in the morning, it's gone by noon. It's a beautiful scent, and I've never really had the foresight to carry around a decant like I should and reapply throughout the day as I need to, but it's gone after 3 or 4 hours. but it's perfect for late fall or winter days when it's sort of dipping into the 50s and the 40s, and but it doesn't really have enough power to cut through the super, the bitter cold below freezing days. So when it's really cold outside, I would not recommend this because you won't smell it. Only if they could make a version of EDP of this stuff that just had more of the essential oils in it, I would easily, pay 4 or 5 times what I paid for that, because that would be a perfect winter or fall scent. So, like I said, if you want it to last for more than a few hours, carry around a decant, apply liberally, and if you have to apply liberally, like I said, granted I got it on sale, but it was $15. I think usually you can get it for $20 or $25, so you don't really have to worry about applying it liberally. It's not going to burn a hole in your pocketbook. But I thought this was a really interesting scent, deserves more attention, masculine, woody, aromatic, and just really delicious. If anything I've said floats your boat, if you know about it, if you smelled it before, comment below, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.